Well, hello and welcome to Greek recording number 4, talking about accents. I'm Dave Spots. I'm very glad to be able to make this recording. And here's where we are. While we're still getting used to the idea of the way Greek sounds, reading it, looking at it, making sure we recognize the letters, we want to learn a few of the ways accents work. For more, oh my, shame on me, we want to learn a few of the ways with an S that accents work. And I do recommend, for more practice, consider, if you're not in it, my live class at Potter's School or at alts.edu. And you're always welcome to drop by Wittenberg, Como. We'll always have something going on there. I'd like to point you to the logbook that I've been preparing here. I think I probably have it focused in the camera well enough. Notice the way I've been taking this logbook, and I wrote on it in big letters in a Sharpie so the camera would make possibly a visible image. But you notice I've been practicing. I write the things that I've been studying on the book, and then I can go back and read over them again to be sure I am memorizing them and understanding them. So what do we have so far? We've got an alphabet, we've got a smooth breathing and a rough breathing, we've got 8 diphthongs, I, A, Oi, we, ow, you, and oo, and then we have some accents. Let's remember that there are 3 accents that we'll be working with in Greek. One of them, the acute accent, it looks kind of like that. Then there's the grave accent, looks kind of backwards. And there's the circumflex accent, which circum, around, flex, bend. So it bends around a little bit. Now, the acute accent may be on any of the last 3 syllables of a word. So when you see a Greek word, count from the end by syllable. Now, if the last syllable is long, the accent cannot be on the 3rd syllable from the end. Now, wait a minute. What makes a long syllable? Let's be sure we get that idea. A long syllable will have omega, which is a long vowel. It could have an eta, which is also a long vowel. It could have an alpha, which is long. The alpha can be either long or short. It could have an upsilon, which is long. It's not very common, but it does happen. Or it could have a diphthong. And I will try to write diphthong here. So it could have a long vowel, or it could have a diphthong, and that would make it a long syllable. If the last syllable is long, the accent can't be on the 3rd syllable from the end. It can only be on one of the last 2. However, the acute accent, remember the acute accent, like that, may be on any of the last 3 syllables of the word, if it's possible to have an accent there at all. How about the circumflex? The circumflex may be on the last syllable or on the 2nd last syllable. Let's remember the circumflex and correct my terrible spelling. Shame on me. Let's spell syllable correctly. R. Okay. Maybe I can blame the broken wrist for the mistyping. I think that's actually the cause. Anyway, the circumflex can be on the last syllable of a word or the second last syllable. It cannot be on the third last syllable. It only appears on a long syllable. Remember the long vowels or the diphthongs. And if the last syllable is short and the second last syllable is accented, it will have a circumflex. So imagine a last syllable that has the vowel omicron, which is a short vowel. If that last syllable is short and the second last syllable is a long syllable, it may have an accent on it, and if it does have an accent, it'll have a circumflex. Now, there's a lot of if, and, or but involving syllables and accents, and in fact it's going to take really quite a long time before the accent rules really sink in. So for now we just want to be trying to notice things. In fact, I'd say there's really nothing new to write in the logbook. Here's how a grave accent works. Remember the grave accent. It can only be on the last syllable of a word. It never appears anywhere else. And what it does is it replaces an acute accent if the immediately following word is accented. So let's imagine that the word punctuation, before. Let's imagine that before is a Greek word. Let's give it an acute accent. But we notice there's a word immediately after it. There's no punctuation in the middle, so the acute accent will get knocked over and become a grave accent. Now, if there is some punctuation, say it's the last word of a sentence, or it's the last word of a paragraph, or there's a comma after it, or there are a few instances where a word is not accented. If there's one of those unaccented words after it, and the accent is on the last syllable, it'll still be an acute. It will not end up being a grave accent. Now, accents can move around on words. They move from one syllable to another. They move sometimes in relation to what the ending, the suffix on a word is. They're rather complicated rules. Usually, the accent doesn't matter as far as understanding the meaning or the form of a word. However, in some cases, you do need to know it. So it's best to start noticing it now. When you meet a new word, learn the accent on the dictionary form and write it in your logbook. When you write down that new word in your logbook, make sure you copy it with the accent, with a breathing mark if it's got a breathing mark, so that you really do know exactly what's going on with it. Well, that's it for this lesson on accents. I hope it works well for you.